That's incredible. And of course, we were talking about this yesterday, and comments you made on the show yesterday blasted over the internet in lots of different ways.
Well, and on talk radio and other places on TV where people like to keep it simple as possible. What's the quote? Foolish consistency.
Foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds.
Okay, thank you. That's why we bring Pulitzer Prize winners on. So, as John Meacham says, and I think he made this up, and that's why he got the Pulitzer, since a foolish consistency is a hobgoblin of little minds, adored by little politicians and partisan barkers in the public square, I didn't expect the usual suspects to have the intellectual capacity to actually grasp a statement that didn't neatly line up with their political punch list for the do's and don'ts of mindless political posturing. So let me start with simple talk that even simple-minded people can understand. America must stand with Israel. They are America's strongest ally in the region. Hamas, they're a terrorist organization who started this confrontation by launching thousands of missile attacks on the people of Israel. Are you still with me? Israel uses their missiles to protect people. Hamas uses their people to protect missiles. UN condemnations don't really matter much, since the UN's long been a hotbed of anti-Israeli sentiment. What matters most now is that Israel's Arab neighbors in Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Jordan support the Jewish state over the Islamic terror outfit. Turkey and Qatar, of course, have chosen to be backers of Hamas, but they're practically alone in the region. It's also true that the United States has less leverage to move both sides to a peaceful solution because Israel's longtime distrust of President Obama and lining up with Turkey and Qatar in peace talks doesn't help bridge that divide. But in international diplomacy, as in domestic political life, we've got to follow the wisdom of William F. Buckley. You take the world as you find it and not how you wish it to be. And the reality on the ground in Gaza is clear to all. The prolonged killing of children and women in Palestinian territories will only serve to weaken Israel and serve to strengthen Hamas. And tragically, this comes at a time when Hamas leadership was on the run. They were hated at home. They were isolated abroad. And then this began. Yes, they fired missiles into Israel. Why? Because they were on the verge of political destruction in Gaza. But now, every day that goes by with images of children being pulled out of the rubble of bombed out schools, bombed out hospitals, and bombed out marketplaces is a day that only makes Hamas stronger and threatens Israel's long-term security. That's bad for Israel. That's bad for America. And that's bad for Middle East peace. And think about this while you're going down your punch list of what you think people on the extremes will like. Blindly supporting Israel and Israeli politicians when their actions may actually be strengthening their enemies and our enemies like Hamas is no way to show your support and no way to show your friendship.
That would